Good morning. So last night I had another crazy Jehovah's Witness / my Jehovah's Witness mom. And I can't believe this happened once again. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you it. Now, of course, before I tell you my crazy dream that I had last night, I have to remind myself and everyone else who watches my videos, I am the pity as an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I'm an apostate. I speak out against the religion, and I hate the governing body organization. So keep that in mind when I tell you the dream that I had last night. So let's get into it. So the dream begins. My Jehovah's Witness mom was a manager at a bank. Now keep in mind, my mom has never worked at a bank. She came from a licensed midwife to delivering newspapers at a graveyard shift in Payson, Arizona, then working part-time at Walmart in the fish department, then becoming a CDL bus driver. So the dream begins when I realized that my Jehovah's Witness mom, Tina, was having consecutively bank meetings with her bank tellers, and that she was continuously missing Kingdom Hall meetings. And I was like mesmerized and did not understand, why is my Jehovah's Witness mom, Tina, continue to miss Kingdom Hall meetings because she had to have bank meetings with her bank tellers or her bank employees. And I didn't understand, why was she continuing to do this. And I started to go while there was an active Kingdom Home meeting. I would go to her bank, like going to Chase or Bank of America or maybe one of the credit unions. And I would go to her bank and I'll be sneaking, looking through her clear glass window inside the bank's management office, and she'll be sitting there having a bank meeting with her employees while there was a Kingdom Hall meeting. And I kept just shaking my head, thinking to myself, why does my mom not understand that one of the most important things to do, other than bowing down to the governing body, is going to the Kingdom Hall meetings regularly? And she's continuously skipping meetings so she could have those bank manager meetings with her bank employees. And I just didn't understand why she did this. And so week after week after week after week, my mom would continue to skip Kingdom Home meetings so she could have these bank meetings, bank employee meetings at her bank. So I kept going every single week while they're having an active Kingdom Hall meeting. I would skip the meeting and I would go to that bank, and there was my Jehovah's Witness mom having another bank meeting with her bank employees. So I just kept getting so irritated, her skipping Kingdom Hall meetings for these bank meetings, until I found out, and it was only rumors, that my mom had a serious appointment meeting, a bank meeting in Italy. And I was like, oh, heck no. You know what, if I find out that this is true, that she's going to go all the way to Italy for a bank meeting and skipping the Kingdom Hall meeting, oh no, I'm not keeping this secret. So finally, when the time was right, I went to my mom's bank. I interrupt her in her bank meeting and said, I need to talk to you. My mom looks at me and she's like, Vic, you know, I'm really busy right now. I'm having a meeting with my bank tellers or my bank employees. You know, I am the head manager at this bank. And I looked at my mom and I looked at her right in the eyes and said, yes, I understand that you are the manager at this bank, but I have a question. My mom looked at me like, okay, Vic, what's your question? I looked at her and I had this attitude. Is this true that you are going to Italy for a bank meeting? Is this true? And I looked just so furious. And my mom looks at me and she's like, yes, Victor, I just booked the airfare to Italy. And yes, there's a very big, huge district meeting for all the bank managers. It's not the bank tellers, not the bank employee. It's just for bank managers, supervisors. And yes, it's in Italy. I just booked that. I paid the airfare to Italy. I then looked at my mom and I was like, oh my God. I thought this was false. This was wrong. It was just gossip. So then my mom's looking confused, and she's like, I don't understand, Victor. Why is this bothering you so much? I looked at my mom then. I had this exact look in this dream. I looked at my mom right in the eyes and said, okay, here's the deal. You need to immediately contact your body elders and let them know that you've been skipping Kingdom Hall meetings for many, many weeks, if not many, many months, because you had to have consecutive bank meetings. And you know what, Mom? You don't lie about it. You need to confess to these elders also that you just scheduled a airfare round trip from Phoenix, Arizona. And this dream was in Phoenix. It was in downtown Phoenix, somewhere like on Central. And I told my mom, you also need to go tell those body elders that you just booked a round trip ticket to Italy for a mandatory bank meeting. And then my mom looks at me and she's like, okay, so what are you going to do if I don't tell the elders? I then looked at my mom and I said, you know what? If you don't tell those elders as soon as possible, I'm telling you this right now, I am then gonna have to confess to the elders of what you've been doing wrong. And I can almost guarantee you this. If I have to be the chismosa and to rattle tattle to the body elders that you were going to Italy, skipping the Kingdom Hall meetings, and you've been missing it for months, I can almost guarantee you are going to get disfellowshipped. And then my mom kind of looked at me, and suddenly, I woke up, and that was my dream. Now, I did not make this dream out. This was it, and it felt so real when I woke up this morning, and I was just revisiting the dream that I just had, and I was like, felt so real. Now, my conclusion of this video, and I have a good conclusion. So more than 20, 21, or maybe even 22 years ago, back in sometime in year 2003, or sometime in the early year 2004, we're now in year 2026. In real life, when I started going back to the Kingdom Hall, and because I wasn't going to the Kingdom Hall meetings and going in field service for more than a year and a half, because I was working at the Sky Harbor Airport as a rental car bus driver, and I was trying to get my CDL license. Right after I got my CDL license, which was of course back in October of year 2004, I lost that job, and my mom, of course, encouraged me to go back to the Kingdom Hall. And so in real life, I did what my mom wanted me to do. So I did. I went back to my old Kingdom Hall meeting, the Bethany congregation, where my aunt and my cousin grew up in, like I did. And weeks after I started going back to the Kingdom Hall, my mom informed me, and this is a true story, my mom informed me that she's really happy that I'm going back to the Kingdom Hall, but you need to confess to the body of elders, like ASAP, that you were going to gay bars with a co-worker who was openly gay. You were watching, renting, and owning R-rated movies, and that you were going regularly to Elks Lodge with another ex-co-worker. And I do remember, in real life, I didn't tell my mom that right away to the elders. And she kept pressuring me, telling me that, and I quote, "Fig, if you don't talk to the elders soon, then I'm gonna have to do it. And I'm telling you this right now as a baptized Jehovah's Witness. If I have to confess and talk to the elders and basically being a chismosa and rattle-tattle that you were going to gay bars with a co-worker who was openly gay, watching and owning and seeing R-rated movies and going to Elks Lodge regularly, I can almost guarantee if I have to be the rattle-tattle that you will almost guarantee be disfellowshipped." That happened in real life. And of course, I did talk to the elders. I'm not going to that discussion. But the dream that I just had last night, it reminds me the same kind of vibe to what my mom threatened me with. And in last night's dream, in a different circumstances, of course, I threatened my Jehovah's Witness mom, Tina, that she better tell those body of elders as soon as possible that you've been skipping Kingdom Hall meetings for X amount of weeks, and that you're going to Italy for a mandatory district bank meeting, that I'm going to be the rattle-tattle, just like my mom did with me, and that my mom would guaranteed be disfellowshipped if I had to be the tattler. So, I know I've been talking over 13 minutes, and I know I sound crazy, but this is the kind of crazy shit that's been happening for years. Again, I've been gone. I'm disassociated. I have no desire to ever come back to the Watchtowers organization. Before I left Arizona, I belonged to a non-denominational, another religion for that matter. I hated it. I texted a huge long text from Facebook Messenger years ago, degrading, proving all these Bible scriptures that Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to follow because it contradicts what the governing body teaches. So we're almost coming up to 15 minutes. I don't want this any much more longer, but this is why I need to talk to a therapist, because I'm getting these crazy Jehovah's Witness and family dreams. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'm sure I'll be having another Jehovah's Witness family dream in the near future. Okay, thanks and have a great day.